What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if Cyberpunk 2077 is massively disappointing. So this isn't a review. This is my impressions of it at the however many hours. I think I'm at like 8-ish hours at the time I'm recording this, and that could sound very low, and it is very low. It's a very low thing, but I have enough to say where, because it's not a review, because I'm not going through the ending of the story or major pivotal moments, it's something that I want to talk about. Did this live up to my expectations? Did it live up to people's expectations? Talk about the glitches, just things that I've experienced in this game, and talk about, what I feel of it. I could do a full review once I'm done with the game, if I ever get done with the game, if you guys want me to. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, PodcastNow15 is my Twitter. If you guys hate this video so much, you could always yell at me over there as well. So that's a little bit more of an incentive, too, even for the people that hate this video. And I do think, by the way, this will be a divisive video. I can forecast the dislikes coming. I think hopefully there'll be more likes than dislikes, but I do think this is going to stir some people up. I am so, and I do mean this, I really do. And for people that have watched this channel for a long time, you'll know that I'm being honest here. I'm very conflicted about this game because this game was something, as I've said before, that I was excited for. I did not think this game was going to be game of the generation. I can only imagine how those people felt, okay? I really do, because, there's been games that I've gone into where I have very high expectations, and then sometimes I get let down. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes they blow away my expectations. For Cyberpunk, I watched the trailer in 2013. I knew about it, all the way from there. I was wondering for years, where did the game go? And I didn't really look anything up into it, right? As the years go on, you get more and more excited. As 2020 goes on, you get more and more excited. Delay. Obviously, there's some issues along the way. The game comes out. Again, I am not expecting a world-changing situation. I told you guys leading into this game, the biggest thing I wanted, and this is actually why it's, I think, a pretty solid disappointment for me, isn't because of the bugs, isn't because of the glitches. I wanted a world that felt just insanely alive. And from all the stuff we saw in gameplay presentations and just everything, the world felt so vibrant. The world felt like things were happening in it. And they are, but it just feels kind of empty. And that's where, discussing the game gets very difficult. I asked this on Twitter a few days ago, what are people thinking about the game? Then I did another Twitter, and I said, here's my kind of just a brief, as many characters as you can put on Twitter. Here's kind of my brief feeling where I think there is a really good game buried deep within Cyberpunk. But also, besides that, not even talking about the glitches and bugs, I do think there's some fundamental flaws. So to get to the easy part first, well, yes, there are some problems. I saw, fruit floating in a basket, and the basket wasn't actually on a table. It was literally floating in midair. That's weird. Like I said, in one of the very first videos I made once this game came out, I saw somebody driving a car without a car. They were just sitting in midair and moving like a vehicle would on the road, okay? That's weird. I don't want to see that in a game. When I'm driving, I've noticed, and so I'm recording this, I played it the night before I'm recording this, and I tried to play it for as many hours as I could. I was playing it, and I was driving very fast. I was driving 95 miles per hour, just a straight road, and the game looked awful. Nothing loaded in. Things were loaded, but there were no textures. There were no details. I was going through a factory kind of zone where everything was more just I don't know, what you would imagine a factory area of a city. But then, you expect it to basically not look the greatest. But literally, there was no textures. There was no details in that world. Okay, it was pathetic. Okay, maybe in a month from now, they patch it and it looks amazing. And that's fine. Again, that's not even my biggest thing with the game. Those are issues with it, and that's something that you either accept and you power through, or you don't accept and you quit and you wait for the patches, or you don't accept and you return it. And as I've said in all these videos, I'm completely okay with, whatever opinion you may have, okay? You obviously fall in your own camp, and everybody's welcome here, all right? So that was the easy part. The bugs, the glitches, I actually jinx. So I have no wood to knock on here, so I'm definitely going to get jinxed. There hasn't been any crashes yet. I've played the game almost 9 hours, no crashes. So that is good. But there are bugs. There's textures that do not pop in. There are some issues. There's a lot of issues. So you have that. And that is, I wouldn't say, is it disappointing? Well, I didn't think it would be this bad. So I guess in a way. But the game itself, here's the deal. I can tell, even from what I've played. Now, I've tried to do a lot of the side stuff, I think I've said this before in videos. The reason it takes me so long to beat open world games, or the fact that I never beat them at all, is that I purposely don't do the main stuff. I try to do every side thing humanly possible in the game. Now, in Cyberpunk, there's a lot to do, right? There's the crimes, there's the gigs, there's all of these. There's so much, and they're like leveled, they're like moderate, hard, very hard. So there's a lot, and as you level up like street cred and stuff, you unlock even more things. Okay, so there's a lot to do, and I've been doing that. There is such a difference between the main story and the side stuff. The side stuff doesn't feel engaging to me, and that, if I were to say anything is massively disappointing, it's like that. It's, again, that world building just breaking and falling on its head. That's what's so disappointing to me, because when you play the main missions, you have characters that are very good. V, is very good, very well acted. Even though you can't see him or her or whatever for most of the time, like, it's very well done. The other characters are very well done. The stakes are very well done. And then, again, I guess kind of cheating here, from what everybody says, it seems like the story only gets better. That the story is really, really good, that the characters are really, really good. Like, that's for the game, okay? And I agree with that. I actually think the main story is very good. But the side stuff, but again, here's the deal, I guess. I'm sorry, I ramble. That's what I do. For the main story, it still is kind of short. Now, yes, you can pad it with other stuff, but if you just did the main story missions, you'd be done with this game relatively, fast. You'd have to do the rest. If you want to get 50, 60, 70 hours into this game, like some people expect, and honestly, with a game this big that we thought going in, I mean, yeah, I expected. I played Ghost of Tsushima for 60 hours and got the platinum in that game. That game is filled with stuff, and again, I platinumed it, so I went out of my way to do even more trophy-specific things, but, for most people, that game maybe took 30, 40 hours, okay? So for Cyberpunk, I was expecting, like, okay, this game should reach 70, 80, 90, like, that's what I was expecting. That's how many hours I'm expecting to get out of this game, from both the side stuff, from all the just exploring, the main stuff. I was expecting somewhere in the the 50 to 100 range, okay, that second tier. And that, I think you can get it, but the problem is it's padded. The side stuff is, man, I'm going to say it, it's boring. It's boring. A lot of the side stuff is boring. I don't feel a sense of things happening. You go to an area, there's people there, you can either sneak around, you do the exact same animations to take them out every single time, or you can just, go guns blazing. The shooting stuff, I mean, the weapons do feel really good. Like, each weapon feels very, very different. Visually, at times, the game can be absolutely amazing. Like, it can look really good. The details in the characters, the different stories that they do tell. Because some of the side stuff is good. Like, I saved, like, a monk's brother, and the monk was, like, mute. Like, the monk was, got some, like, of the, basically robot features to him, but the brother didn't. I had to go save him. I mean, there are some cool things that are like, okay, these are just mini stories from these characters. You'll never see them again, but they're cool to just experience. And that, by the way, is what an open world game should do. But I don't know. I just don't get a sense of things happening. I know a lot of people have talked about the AI. I think the AI is terrible. I think the map is one of the worst maps I've ever played in my life. I've ever seen. The map of the game, like when you hit on the PlayStation, it's like the touchpad, and then you can pull up the map. The map is awful. I don't know, like all of the different stuff. A lot of the missions don't even appear on your mission list. You just have to find them in your map, and then you can track them. But everything is so, like, I get it. Like, it's not the biggest map in the world. In fact, they talked about that, right? Everything's kind of shrunk down, and everything's very, like, centralized. But, like, there's too much stuff right next to each other. Like, everything is so close, it gets very annoying to look at on a map. And then the waypoint system, where you get in a car, or you're running, or you're trying to find a specific thing, and, like, the mini-map, that, I will say, is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. The worst mini-map I've ever seen. The worst waypoint system I've ever seen. It's terrible. It takes you on the longest routes possible to get to a place that you could probably get to quicker. If you, like, had memorization, you could figure out how to get there. It's awful. Or heaven forbid, you have to traverse multiple levels of something, which I did see people say, like, the game is kind of built around, like, it looks like there's all of this, like, up and down kind of stuff in all these really tall buildings. You very rarely do that. So, like, even that is kind of like an illusion. Like, the world is an illusion. But, yeah, the waypoint thing I think is absolutely awful. I'm just not invested in a lot of the side stuff that happens. It feels boring. The world is not nearly as populated as I thought it would be. Now, you've seen those comparison videos of like 2018 to 2020 of like the differences, mainly in visuals, but also honestly in the amount of people. It does seem like there's way more people doing things in the 2018 or just leading into this game than versus now. Nobody really I mean, there are places where people are doing things. There's like homeless people holding up signs. Again, all the side stuff that's happening. There are people that are like there to talk. But like if you go down a street, it's possible the street could be completely empty. There are no cars. There's very few cars in this game. There's no people on half the roads of this game. It just feels empty. It feels like and then when you and that's the thing. Then when you do get to populate areas where people are doing stuff or there are side things and you're doing a side mission, so you have to talk to people and they say, okay, go to this motel. And the motel is populated. There's people kind of around. That kind of just feels like an illusion to me. Now, maybe you could say it was the other way around where like that is what they wanted the whole world to be, and it should be. I want the whole world to be as fleshed out as when you get deep in these side missions and there's like people everywhere and there's people doing things. That's how the entire world should be, but it's reversed. That's only because side missions can take you like 10 minutes and then you're done. But you could be going through the world for hours. You know what I mean? And when you're going through the world, when you're driving, there could be like 2 cars on the road. There could be like 5 people on the streets. And by the way, the very first day I played this game, I ran into the exact same little girl and this enormously buff guy. I ran into the exact same people twice in different areas. There's no way it was the same person because it was a completely different area of the map, but it was the exact same voice and it was the exact same model for the person. That's pathetic. That is that was the first. Now maybe that was a glitch. Maybe they were supposed to be different people in general, but the voice was also the same. So that's an issue. That is a ginormous issue that needs to be fixed. So there's a lot of issues. I would say I'm enjoying it. I do still want to play it, but I mean, like my biggest thing, the last thing I'll say, and what I said on Twitter to somebody who responded to me was that an example I have is like there's like this bar side mission where you have to go eliminate a person basically, and the bar is filled with life. There's people drinking, there's people doing stuff, and then there's the enemies. And you're going around, I'm taking out all these enemies, I'm shooting down the cameras, or I'm deactivating them, or whatever. And then I died. They killed me at the very end. And then I got respawned to the start of the mission again. And I was like, I don't want to do it. Like it wasn't that fun the first time. And that's kind of the point. I think that in order to get to the good stuff of this game, you have to put up with a lot of boring stuff or stuff that doesn't matter, or like what I thought was going to be world building and side character building that really isn't there. That is the most disappointing to me. This is not even close to the most life-filled world that we've gotten. Witcher 3 is about 30 times better, okay? Fallout, you could even, and Fallout is literally supposed to be empty, okay? But, at times, this world just feels so uninteresting and just unfilled. And that, to me, is why it's like, to me, I was expecting a world that felt full of life. And I've said this before, when I leave an area, I want to feel in my head like there's still stuff going on there. And then when I go back, to experience it. You do not get that whatsoever. There is no situation where I have felt that there were things happening in these places without me, and then I was late to the party and I joined into. None. Sometimes like crimes that happen, that kind of feels like it, but those are few and far between. So let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? What's your opinion on this game? Are you loving it? Are there things that are massively disappointing to you? Let me know. Again, I know this video is going to get hate. Hopefully you guys get that. It's just my opinion. It's just me. And honestly, I'm not even getting mad at this game for the things that other people are getting. At least I'm being unique, right? I'm trying to come up with my own things. And I do think these things are kind of specific to me. These were things that I was expecting that I did not get, or at least I don't feel I got. So let me know what you guys think. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. Again, if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, PodcastNow15 is my Twitter handle. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.